All right, product matrix. This is going to be on page 49. I'm going to let y'all know it printed very weird. I don't know what order it comes in. I don't know where it starts. Just know that at least you have the printout today. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so we're on page 49, and hopefully you don't think it's terrible. At the top of your page, I'd like for you to write this. So, how to verify? Huh? Yeah, it's like a way to remember it. It's not like a definition, I guess.
What's the next problem before I write this?
So this one says dimensions. So it's like the next one. It's yeah, that's the front of it. Okay. So here, I call this the smile check. And so basically what we're doing today, it's the first part of today, is to verify if two matrices can be multiplied together. And the only way that they can be multiplied together is if the number of columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So then when you're like drawing the line, you see how it makes a smile? If they smile at you, then they have a product. Okay. So if they smile at you, that they have a product, the product solution is going to be the number of rows from the first matrix and the number of columns from the second matrix. So if you can, the smile check is what we're functioning on. All right, here we go. So we're going to put this to action. So here we have the dimensions of a product matrix. So the first step is to identify the dimensions. So when I look at matrix A has how many rows? 3. And how many columns? 2. So it's a 3 by 2. Agree? Matrix B has how many rows? And how many columns? Okay. So the smile check is saying you're checking that the number of columns in matrix A equals the number of rows in matrix B. And is that true? Yes. So that means that they have a product. So does the product exist? Yes. And the size of the product is going to be the rows from the first matrix and the columns from the second matrix. So yes, it exists, and it makes a 3 by 4. Terrible? Because it takes the rows from the first matrix and the columns from the second matrix. Okay. All right, so let's do an example. So here we have A equals all of that and B equals all of that. So when we look at them, A, first up is to state their dimensions. What are the dimensions of A? It's a 3 by 2. And what are the dimensions of B? 2 by 4. Okay. So we're going to test A times B. So A times B is 3 times 2 times 2 by 4. Going to do the smile check. Do they smile at me? Yes. So does their product exist? Yes. And what size product? A 3 by 4 product. Okay. Now we're going to do B times A. So B times A is a 2 by 4 times a 3 by 2. Does their product exist? No, sad day. It does not smile at me, so then it does not exist. That's that. Part 1. How do we feel about part 1? Good. All right, here's some you-dos for you. So this is all we're doing. Part 1. Okay, so the first thing is to state all the dimensions, right? So A is a 2 by 2. B should have been a 1 by 2. And C is a 2 by 3. Yes? So then we have A and B. So if I'm looking at A and B, that's my 2 by 2 and my 1 by 2. And what happens? Sad day, does not exist. AC, so that's a 2 by 2. and a 2 by 3. And they're happy, they smile at you, right? So it's a yes, and they make a 2 by 3. We have B times A, so 1 by 2 times 2 by 2. Smiles at you. So that's a yes, and they make a 1 by 2. We have C times A, so 2 times 3 by 2 by 2. Sad day. Does not exist. Then you should have had BC, 1 by 2 times 2 by 3. And they smile at you. So that's a yes. And that makes a 1 by 3. And last but not least, C times B, 2 by 3 times 1 by 2. And that is a sad day. Does not exist. How do we do? You feel confident in identifying whether the product exists or not. Awesome. All right. So remember I told you we're gonna grab calculator. Due to time crunch, all of this lovely, beautiful multiplication and addition that you see on the screen, I am not going to have you do this year. Womp, womp, womp. We're gonna just go straight to the calculator. So if you did not pick up a graphing calculator, per instructions on the board, please go ahead and grab one. Now, the deal with the graphing calculator is as we go through it, you're responsible for writing down the steps and what you need to do. I will not assist you on using the calculator. Okay? So pay attention, ask questions, write down notes. Got it? All right. So we're on example 2 on the back. Should be at the top on the back. And we're going to take out our calculator. We're going to start a new document. Did they not quit the calculator? We're going to start a new document. I don't want to, no, she doesn't want to be saved. Click home, new document. And we're going to open a calculator page. Okay. In the calculator page, you're going to press the button next to 9. So this guy right here. And that's going to open your matrix. Or your option 4 matrix. So there's 3 types of matrices. There's a 2 by 2. There's a 1 by 2. There's a 2 by 1. And this guy right here looks like a 3 by 3. But this one is just where you get to type in how many rows and how many columns you want, right? We are dealing with 2 by 2s right now, right? So we're going to type in our 2 by 2s. You're going to press the button next to 9. See it? And we're going to open the 2 by 2 because we're dealing with 2 by 2s, right? This is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. Because we can see that smile check, does the product exist? Yes, right? So we know that there is a product. So yes, there's a product. And we're going to find the product. Yes to product, right? So now we're going to find the product. So all you're going to do is input the table, input the matrices. We have 2, 1, and we have -3, and we have 0. And what are we doing between these 2 matrices? Multiplying. So I'm going to hit multiply. And I need another matrix. I'm going to go to the button next to 9 again. Click on the matrix. Click on the 2 by 2. I'm going to put the values in. So now I've put in both of my matrices. And then I hit enter. And my answer is yeah. Terrible? I would think not. All right, I would like for you to do the next example. Just so that you can practice putting it in. So you're gonna do, yes. You got -6. And then 0, -1, and 10. What'd you say?
-9.
I was like, what? 11. Easy enough? All right, cool. Now, same energy, but application. And application is a sneaky word for word problems. Yay. All right, so here's our word problem. So we have to set up our matrix in order to multiply them, right? So it says here, in 1996, Washington and New York Giants played the highest scoring game in National Football League history. The table summarizes the scoring. A touchdown is worth 6 points, a field goal is worth 3 points, and a safety is worth 2 points, and a point after touchdown is worth 1 point. Using matrix multiplication, what was the final score? Okay, now, could this be solved without matrices? Yes, we all know this. It could totally be solved without matrices. I get it, but we're gonna make it into a matrix and we're gonna solve it that way. Okay, so you have your two teams. So your first matrix is gonna be a 2 by 4. Does that make sense? So we have a 2 by 4. We have a 10, 1, 0, 9, 6, 0, 0, 5. Okay. And we know that each touchdown is worth 6. Field goal is worth 3. Safety is worth 2. And a point after is worth 1. So we have this times. And this one, in order for it to work, it has to be a 4 by 1, right? Because this one is a 2 by 4. In order for these to be multiplied, I have to have 4 columns. Does that make sense? So my 4 columns are 4 rows, are 6, 3, 2, and 1. And that makes a 4 by 1. And so this is what we're putting in the calculator to find their total scores. We're going to go to the calculator. Now, the reason why we're doing this one is to show you how to get the any size. So you're going to click on the button next to 9, but you're going to go over to the 3 by 3. And that allows you to say how many rows and columns you need. So my first one is a 2 by 4. So you go over to the 3 by 3. So I'm going to do it again. I click the button next to 9. I'm going to come over to the 3 by 3 matrix, hit enter, and then I'm able to put in, I need a 2 by 4. Yeah, and then press down or hit tab and it'll take you down as well. So I have 10, 1, bless me, 0, 9, and I have 6, 0, 0, 5, bless me, times. And this time I need to make a 4 by 1. So again, I'm going to click the button next to 9, click on the 3 by 3 so I can put in, and I need a 4. And if I hit tab, it takes me down by 1. And I need 6, 3, 2, 1. And the final score was 72 to 41. So we end up with 72 to 41. And that's your Washington and New York, right? How do we feel? Good? Doable? All right, that's all I got for you. The you do is for you to do. Read the problem, try to set it up. But tomorrow you'll take your 3-1 quiz and then you'll have 3-3 classwork to work on. Cool?